Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Oz.
What movie do you have for us this week?
This week's movie marriage is single white female plus 50 first dates, a whole lot of Who's That Girl, all brought together by the magic of the incredible Burt Wonderstone. This week we're watching Desperately Seeking Susan.
Nice. Nicely done.
I wanted a magic movie for the punchline.
Yeah, of course.
And so, I put in the old Google machine, movies about magic. And, The Prestige came up. Now You See Me, The Illusionist, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. There it is.
Yeah. The magic in this was equivalent to the magic show in Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like summer getaway, but it is what it is. So, welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast where we take a monthly theme, this month being musicians in movies.
Yes.
And we satisfy it with this week's entry, Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I am the other host, Curtis.
And we want to give a magical shout out to our Patreon subscribers, ones we'll never forget. Don S., Aaron A., Mandy K., Melissa L., Colin K., and Lyle M. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Lyle. I never forget you. So, thank you one and all for your patronage.
That's how we got his patronage. We took out a personal ad.
Desperately seeking Lyle
M.
Signed, a needy Patreon.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we talked very briefly pre-show. This first time view for me.
Same.
Not a bad film. It was
just there.
I wasn't itchy, so this didn't scratch anything. It just was okay. I've seen Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah.
To be completely fair, 45-year-old married man in rural Illinois is probably not the target demographic for this film anyway. So
this movie, I imagine, would have hit a lot differently had you seen it 40 years ago during its theatrical run, kind of in the zeitgeist of Madonna in
as
the
a
mid-80s.
5-year-old. Yes, it would have nailed it.
5-year-old Oscar Curtis would have loved this movie in the theaters.
Yeah.
We would have brought our Optimus Prime and G.I. Joes.
Exactly. I would have stepped away from Castle Grayskull to go see Desperately Seeking Susan.
I got He-Man those earrings.
Yeah, that's right. But no, not a bad movie. Just I definitely understand its impact on the 80s. As it was well acted, plenty of future. I won't say stars, but future recognizable thespians. And again, well directed. It just kind of felt like there was at times too much, and at other times, take the kids' gloves off.
Do something.
Well, yeah, I mean, because there's enough in this film to warrant. Let me look real quick. Was it rated R? I don't remember what it was rated.
It was PG-13.
PG-13, but it's early PG-13.
Correct. Because there was distant boobs.
Yeah, there was semblance of breasts. There was enough there that I would have assumed it was rated R. Okay, so with that, I'll give it a little bit of a pass because you're playing in a PG-13 universe, so you don't want to go too extreme. But there was opportunity to go more extreme.
How far away from the camera can you get away with having boobs on screen where it's still PG-13?
Well, not only that, but how much of said upper regions must be submerged in water for it to count? Because that was the one scene I'm thinking of was...
Well, there was the scene where Aidan Quinn was kind of accidentally peeped on her.
Exactly. And it was
they were there, but they were the camera was in the foreground and she's in the background. It's okay, that's what he's looking at.
Right? Yeah, obviously that's what he's looking at. But and then plus Madonna, her choice of tops wasn't exactly hiding much.
Correct. Yes.
So, but it is what it is. So, Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah.
Speaking of a cast of this film, this is we've got contrary to what one may believe, Madonna is not the lead of this
Yeah.
movie. Okay. This movie is Rosanna Arquette's vehicle, as she spends the majority of the movie in front of us. It is her story we are following. And Madonna is more the white rabbit in this Alice in Wonderland tale that
it's a good analogy.
Chasing.
Yeah.
We have Aidan Quinn as Dez, a very confused man, and even when he's got the facts in front of him, is even more confused.
Yeah.
So let's break this a little bit I'm going to talk Jersey and I'm going to talk New York. Okay. Rosanna Arquette is Roberta Glass, the wife of Mark Blum's Gary Glass of like Glass Spa and Tub and Spa. Yeah. And so they live in Jersey. Gary's sister, the amazing Laurie Metcalf,
yes,
as his sister Leslie Glass, and a kind of pointless Stephen Wright as Larry Stillman, the dentist.
Stephen Wright's character kind of, I think, summarizes the movie, where that bad, just kind of there.
Yeah, okay, here he is. And so that's our New Jersey side of things.
Yes.
The New York side of things, of course, is Madonna as the titular Susan of Desperately Seeking Susan.
Whom we are desperately seeking.
Yes, which we don't have to look that hard. She's all over the movie.
Yes.
And so she is with her boyfriend, Robert Joy, playing Jim Dandy. They don't mention his name, but his name's Jim Dandy.
Jim Dandy.
He's the traveling musician boyfriend. Again, kind of like Stephen Wright's character. He's here, but why?
Just there.
Aidan Quinn is Dez, who is basically Jim's surrogate.
Yeah.
He's really like our lead male of the film.
Jim's band was actually called Surrogate Jim.
Surrogate Jim, yeah. We got Will Patton playing an albino, maybe? I don't know.
Unrecognizable Will Patton.
Yes.
I had to remind myself several times.
Same.
That's Will Patton.
That's Will Patton in there. We've got John Turturro as basically the MC at a magic club. It doesn't matter. It literally, John Turturro is the name, has nothing to do with this movie other than it was early in his career. Same with Giancarlo Esposito, a street vendor that you don't even recognize. Like it doesn't matter. It's just more of, oh, he was in this movie. And really that's it. Like we get New Jersey, New York, and then New Jersey crosses into New York.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much. Did I miss anybody you want to throw out? I think it's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got them all.
So what is this movie about? What is Desperately Seeking Susan about?
Yeah. This movie as a whole, before we get too far to the plot, I think, again, we were chatting pre-show, and this movie, I think, was much more important culturally. It was a cultural touchstone than it was as a film itself. It's like, the things that went into the film, the things the film represented, is what really made this movie. But then when you put on your readers and you take a closer look at the movie, it's
lacking.
Yeah. But we open with the shoot
real quick.
Yes.
This movie gives me the vibe of people that were probably teenage girls in that era. Probably tell people, like, as adults, Desperately Seeking Susan is my favorite movie of all time, and they haven't watched it in 35 years.
Yeah.
So it's that, like you said, that cultural hanger.
Yeah.
Of I haven't watched it in forever, but it's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. And then they put on their rubber bracelets on one arm, and they go back and watch it in their in their late 40s, early 50s, and like not quite what I remembered it to be.
Yeah. So I agree with you there.
Yeah. So
all right, take us down the path.
We open on the Shoop Shoop song. It's in his kiss as we meet Roberta, lonely housewife Roberta, again, played by Rosanna Arquette.
I was shocked to find out later on that like she and Gary have only been married for 4 years.
Yeah.
It didn't take her long to turn lonely housewife.
Yeah. And again, like kind of doing the math here, she's mid-20s, so they got married relatively early.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing as
Yeah,
well. Like,
when she's like, "No, been married I'm like, 4 years, that's it?"
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to turn lonely when your husband sells bathtubs.
That's true.
So
Not
she's
much
getting her
spark.
getting her hair styled with her sister-in-law Leslie, again played by the amazing Laurie Metcalf.
Yes, I love Laurie Metcalf.
Yes, me too. As they're reading the personal sections of the newspaper, again, that's the whole bit to this movie.
Mhm.
Is the desperately seeking Susan. That was my single white female reference at the movie Marriage.
Of course.
It's this personal ad, and Susan is drawn to, Roberta is drawn to this recurring ad from a man, we find out his name is Jim, communicating with Susan, and turns out that this is how it's Jim and Susan have this sort of on again off again relationship, and that's how they meet with each other. Again, this was pre cell phones in every pocket.
This is how they text.
Yes, and you get the idea that Susan and Jim probably don't really have a permanent residence,
right?
To call their own.
Yeah, Jim seems to be in a van, and Susan seems to be with whatever guy she shacked up with that night.
Yes, which Jim accepts.
Yeah, at least you have a place to stay.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Roberta thinks it's romantic, and of course we see her, with her like a red Sharpie circle the desperately seeking Susan, ad. Cut to Susan herself taking Polaroids herself of herself on the floor of a kind of I almost put down a ratty apartment. I think it was a hotel room. I think it was a nice hotel room that they just destroyed.
Yeah, I agree, because it was pretty big.
Yes, it was. And there was like a bellhop who brought them breakfast.
Right.
Her partner is asleep. Name is Bruce. Susan, of course, Susan's a big newspaper reader, in her mid-20s.
Loves them.
Yeah, I've got a subscription to the Wall Street Journal and everything.
2 of them.
Yeah, just can't get enough.
One to save for posterity's sake, and one to circle and rip things out.
One for circle and one to read. And so Susan sees the same ad that Roberta just saw, and says out loud. Of course, she has to say it out loud for us dumb audience members.
Right,
Jimmy, it's about time.
Yeah, because we can't read.
No. So Susan starts packing up here in the hotel. Again, Bruce is asleep the whole time. Never says a word the entire movie. And so she's packing up her stuff in this big kind of round hat box, and she finds a pair of huge fancy earrings, giant dangly earrings.
Yes,
and takes them. As she goes to the hotel elevator, her hat box kind of spills, and as she's cleaning things up, a man passes by her, gets out of the elevator, passes by her, and takes a look back over her shoulder and takes note at this blonde woman wearing this very distinctive jacket.
Right.
So we cut to a party that Roberta and husband Gary are hosting. Leslie is smitten by dentist Stephen Wright.
Yeah. Which he's just, I've never seen Stephen Wright do anything but Stephen Wright.
Yes. He's still mostly Stephen Wright.
Yeah. But he's not like dry comedian Stephen Wright. He's just dry. He's basically, it's the Ben Stein approach.
Yeah.
Of just, this is all I got. This is my A game. Just give me the script and I'll deliver it.
Yep. And we see them all gather around the TV. Gary is excited to debut a new commercial for his business, Gary's Oasis.
Yeah.
It's a hot tub and bathroom tub salesman. So you see him in like a hot tub surrounded by several blonde bikini clad women in this commercial. And so that's the bit that he's so excited to share. Like, that's the reason why they're having the party. We do see a news clip, though, that says a rare pair of valuable ancient Egyptian earrings were recently stolen.
I know, it's so goofy.
Like, why couldn't it just be like a pair of like diamond earrings? It had to be like these ancient artifacts.
Yeah, and that's the part that in some ways was like, why? Like, I don't know. It just it was such like an out there like reference that provided really no through line.
No, just
other
keep it
than
simple. Just say it was like diamond earrings or something.
Right.
So we see that, and of course, it's the same earrings that we just saw Madonna put in the hat box.
Right.
So we cut back to Susan. She's relaxing in a Port Authority bathroom, cleaning out her pits. Quite literally.
Yeah.
Puts one of the earrings on in her right ear, and then takes the hat box, including the other earring and her other belongings, and puts them in locks them in a locker at the Port Authority.
Right.
At the Magic Club, which is a recurring location in this movie. It's literally a club with a bad magician act.
Hopping. Like,
a lot of people go there.
Busy every night.
It's at least 2/3 like full.
Yeah. And it is like it's the same show every night.
Mm-hmm. So
they got a house band. Like
yeah, they do have a house band.
I mean, they have several employees of this place.
Yeah, and it's a bad magician act,
right?
With a male magician and a female assistant. The female assistant's name is Crystal. She's a friend of Susan's. Who, she lets her crash at her place, basically.
Right.
Susan the next day sees a newspaper headline indicating that Bruce, the guy that she slept with at the hotel, is a mobster and is dead.
Yeah. Died
at the hotel, and she puts it together not too long after she left. So there's a lot of cutting back and forth between Susan and Roberta. So like, as I was taking my notes, it's not quite linear as the film presents them, just to try to keep things a little simpler.
That's fair.
Yeah. So a little bit, we spend some time with Roberta here. She goes back to the ad section, and she's trying to track this. She's trying to track down the location of this actual meetup between Susan and Jim.
Right.
We meet Jim. He unites with Susan. He's a traveling musician. He's got a gig at Buffalo that he wants Susan to go to. She doesn't want to.
Which I don't know the logistics of New York State, but isn't New York City to Buffalo quite a haul?
They are on polar opposite ends of the state.
That's what I thought.
It's about a 5-hour.
Yeah, that's a haul. Like, I just got a gig. 5 hours away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's as you know, my Patreon subscriber Melissa L's family has like a cabin up in Maine, near Bangor, Maine, and from our home in the Northwest Chicago burbs, it's about 20 hours to get there one way.
Yeah.
And the state that we spend the most time in is actually New York State, because you're traveling the entire east-west length of the state, and
it's a longer state than many realize.
Yes, yeah, it takes a while if you're traveling horizontally through New York State, it takes a while to get through. So Jim's worried about Susan, so he gives her the number for his buddy Dez. Dez is a good guy. Roberta again is in a distance, just kind of watching all this, because she's just smitten. This is so romantic, and it's anything to shake her out of her her lonely, boring life, and so she starts following Susan along the street. Susan stops to talk to street vendor Giancarlo Esposito.
Right.
She almost buys a hat and sunglasses. Susan takes a look at the same thing. And then Roberta watches Susan go into like a secondhand clothing store, and she just sells her jacket. Mm-hmm. Just because that's what Susan does. She's a very, in the moment person.
Oh, very spontaneous.
Yes. And so she ends up swapping her jacket, this very distinctive jacket, for a pair of glitter boots. So Susan sees this and immediately goes in and buys the jacket, moments later. At home, Gary has to skip out of dinner. I got 500 bathtubs on a boat stuck in customs.
Right. I'm sorry. As she comes home, flips on Julia Child, and just starts cooking. Like, almost like I'm late to dinner because I got here a couple minutes after Julia started.
Yeah. And so, of course, Gary's shiting her for buying a used jacket. Yeah, what are we, poor?
I know. It was so pathetic.
Yeah, this was this movie was released in 85, so it was kind of right on the brink of that like mid 80s yuppie phase that really came through and really showcased in cinema a lot as well.
Yeah, like movies like Overboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Roberta in the jacket finds a Polaroid of Susan, as well as a locker key, the locker key from the Port Authority. She does her hair like Susan. We also briefly cut back to an upset Susan. She forgot that she had left the key in the jacket, so she went back to the clothing store and it's like, it's gone.
Yeah.
So Jim, let's see. Yeah, asks his friend Des to check on Susan. So, oh, sorry, I'm getting lost in my own notes here.
Desperately seeking his place.
So yeah, exactly. So there's another ad. Yeah, desperately seeking my notes is what happened there. So there's another ad. Roberta goes to the location. They're in the jacket. Nolan, the hitman from a hotel. Turns out Nolan was the hitman. If we haven't put that together.
Yeah, exactly.
Sees Roberta wearing the jacket, same hair color, same height, similar build. Mistakes Roberta for Susan.
Right.
Susan sees,
which honestly, I'm sure is the only time anyone's ever mistaken Rosanna Arquette for Madonna.
Yes. Susan, was going to the location and she was going to skip out on cab fare. So she saw all this happen, but that there's a cop got to her before she was able to intervene.
I love the exchange where she just gives the cab driver a handful of change and says, "Keep the change," and then bolts.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait a minute.
These are Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
You shorted me."
So Nolan and Roberta, Nolan's trying to pull Roberta into a car. As Des arrives, again, this is kind of I'm struggling
on his noodle dragon moped.
Yeah, that he borrowed from a neighbor.
That he borrowed from the neighboring restaurant.
Yeah, and so in this tussle between Nolan and Roberta falls over, or she backs up hard into a light pole, hits her head on it. Now she's got
very slowly backed into the light pole and very slowly fell to the ground.
Yes.
It takes time for amnesia to set in.
Yeah. Especially when it happens in slow motion.
That's why she fell so slowly.
Yeah. And so she comes to, Nolan runs off, which he does a lot in this movie. Like there's the hint something isn't going well, and Nolan just runs away.
It's kind of a real pathetic henchman.
Yeah, not a good hitman.
Yikes.
And so, Des comes and intervenes, and turns out amnesiac Roberta has convinced herself that she's Susan.
Yeah.
So, and of course, that's who Des is looking for. He's looking for Susan.
Right.
Again, Jim asked her, "Hey, go check on my friend Susan," and so that's who he expects. And he starts calling her Susan. And she's like, "Yeah, it's my name."
Yeah.
So Des and quote unquote Susan go to the Port Authority because Des recognizes the key. This is from the Port Authority because he's a locksmith also.
Yeah.
And so they go get this hat box from the locker, trying to jog Susan's memory.
It's a good thing he knew that, or else this movie would have taken a real big pause.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this key? I don't know. I have amnesia. Well,
just chucks it into the water.
Now, I'm guessing. Okay. I think it just dawned on me as I was playing, because when she was falling, they also slowly showed her bag rolling off the pier into the water. I'm assuming just now that was because her ID was likely in there.
Yeah, so no one else.
Because at first thought, when that was rolling off, I thought the key was in the purse. And I was like, oh, where they? But then, no. So that, it literally just dawned on me as I started talking, well,
no, that makes sense, yeah.
Probably because her ID.
A lot of thinking went into this movie.
Yeah.
So they get the hat box from the locker, trying to jog her memory. Des offers, quote unquote, Susan, to sleep at his place because she can't remember where she lives. She has no memory of her life as Roberta. And so we cut back to the real Susan. She gets out of jail. She goes to the Port Authority immediately and sees that the locker is open and empty. Leslie and Gary are kind of wondering, where's Roberta? It's been a day since they've seen her, and Leslie's like, she's probably having an affair. She just calls her, because they're brother and sister. She just basically calls them out.
Yeah.
We go back to Dez's with, Roberta as Susan. As they're arriving, Dez's ex is moving out, taking most of their stuff with.
It's apparently very yuppie ex.
Yeah.
Like at first when we see Roberta and Des climbing this back staircase, it was like, oh, he's probably just got this terrible apartment. But it's like the apartment from Big. It's this I was assuming it would just be this kind of trash place because again, Dez is like, I don't have any extra money. I work as a projectionist. Like you just get the vibe that he just is trying to survive. Walks in, this place is beautiful. Like it's huge and sprawling and is again, but it's covered in neon, but is like apparently like filthy rich ex-wife is leaving and taking everything.
It's the warehouse that Jennifer Beals had in Flashdance.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Dez is apologetic. Like I didn't expect this to happen. So like, you know, Susan kisses Dez, then apologizes.
Well, Roberta's Susan.
Or Roberta slash, as Susan kisses him, and not what he expected. And Jim's like, what's going on? Like, this is my buddy's girlfriend. And they end up like sleeping, like he's in a sleeping bag. I think she's in an air mattress.
Right.
There's like a makeshift wall between them. We also see that
it was just like the scene from No Holds Barred. Just like it. Yeah. Where Hogan puts up the tape and hangs the sheet because they have one bed and they can't share it. It was just like that. Like that's the flashback I was getting. It was like, Hogan was inspired by this movie.
This movie did come after that. It was in that marathon writing session that him and Vince McMahon had when they locked themselves in a hotel for 3 days and wrote No Holds Barred.
Yeah, I watched Desperately Seeking Susan one time.
Yes, that was the inspiration. Set in the same universe.
Yeah.
The gig Jim was going to was they're not in a band; they're actually professional wrestlers.
Yeah, he was the house band for the Rock and Roll Express.
They mentioned his first name Jim. He's actually Jim Ross.
It's Jim Neidhart.
Jim Neidhart. It's Jim Duggan.
He goes on. He puts his beard on and grabs his 2x4. I prefer to be Hillbilly Jim, actually.
Hillbilly Jim. Every wrestling Jim.
Yeah, Hillbilly Jim and Madonna dated.
I'd buy that.
Yeah,
it's the overalls.
In the 80s, I would.
Yeah. The Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I'm sure Carmen Electra dated somebody in there too.
Yeah, that would Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim was in the tabloids a lot in the 80s.
He was. No wonder he's so happy. Like Madonna, Carmen Electra.
Yeah. I think Heather Locklear was in there at one point.
Yeah. Morgan Fairchild.
Of course, Morgan Fairchild.
Yeah. Lonnie Anderson. Left Burt Reynolds for Hillbilly Jim.
They're all there. Just found a man just as hairy.
Yeah, probably all at the same time, knowing Hillbilly Jim.
That was his bit. He was a ladies' man who wore overalls.
His pickup line was, "You my cousin?" And then they would, if you said yes, then you knew how to get with Hillbilly Jim.
The next morning, after Dez watches Roberta / Susan getting dressed,
he didn't mean to be fair.
He also didn't duck away right away either.
Well, no, but
yeah, PG-13, but we still see boobs. It ends up taking her to a diner. Like she had, I think, like a matchbook in the jacket, and it was a diner that real Susan had been to. And again, trying to jog her memory.
Yeah,
they're immediately go ahead.
Yeah, just a lot of maybe I know someone there. Like,
so they get to the diner, and they're immediately thrown out because the staff at this diner mistakes Roberta for the actual Susan because of the jacket and the hairstyling. Right. And so again, you get more insight on the real Susan that she just does what she wants and treats people the way she wants to treat them.
I love how the way like Dez calls for the waitress. They recognize the jacket. I love how the waitress goes, "You can stay. You gotta go." Like Dez, order whatever you want, but Susan, you gotta go wait outside.
Cook makes a mean omelet, which you're not going to enjoy.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You get the omelet. You don't.
Right.
And so in the fracas, Roberta as Susan drops a picture of the Magic Club, which apparently was, I don't know how many things were in this jacket. A lot of things in the pockets here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Carpenter's jacket.
Yeah. Which Nolan also gets a hold of as well, and so they all end up going to the Magic Club, and Roberta as Susan somehow gets a job as the new magician's assistant.
Well, because the real Susan's friend had just gotten fired
quit, or because
whatever, because she was blind without her glasses, and they wouldn't let her wear glasses during the show, so she kept screwing up the tricks.
Yeah. So we meet John Turturro's character as he's introducing the new magic act. We see it. Roberta's really struggling in the first time while Nolan is watching. Nolan then attacks, Susan, demands the earrings. And of course, in this fracas, she falls and hits her head again.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm struggling with the narrative for this movie.
You're not. Like, you're doing a great job, actually. You really are. Because there is so much, like, just extra nothing.
Like, unnecessary motion.
Just fluff. Yeah. Like, there doesn't need to be. I mean, the movie's plenty long, but there's just a lot of, I have this idea. That's what it kind of felt like, a lot of this. Of like, ooh, this would be fun. And then you write it in, and you did it, and it's fine. But and then viewing, you're like, man, I could see a much simpler plot through line here.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
So Nolan again runs off, leaving, unconscious Roberta there. So the police arrive, and of course they arrest Roberta because they assume she's a prostitute, which is great assumptions on behalf of the local PD there.
Right.
She and we hear her identify herself as Roberta. So the second knock on the head
reversed it. That's all it takes.
That's how amnesia works.
I really don't know why the medical field hasn't picked that up yet. Like,
just lean into traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah. Like, if they've got amnesia from a knock to the head, find where the goose egg is and just hit him there again.
Yeah. Preferably with a big Acme mallet.
Or a frying pan. Like, whatever. But it'll reverse it.
I mean, that could work for other diseases and conditions as well. You just smack them one, and that'll cure what ails you.
Right. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right, but this isn't wrong. This is the correct approach. I just don't. Plus, like, if they already have like a knot, like a goose egg, then that hit will help push that back down.
It just pushes it back in.
Nobody wants, like, lopsided head.
Well, I mean, it helps in the cosmetic surgery industry also.
Yeah. That's all they do.
That's really all a Brazilian butt lift is a big mallet.
Just more butt. To lift up your current butt.
Exactly. So, using the bag from the secondhand store Roberta bought the jacket at, Gary goes to the store.
Because, like, the housekeeper has the bag.
Yeah,
she's getting ready to leave, and she's like, "Well, Miss Roberta gave this to me." So he's like, "Oh, well, that means she's been there, so now I have to go there too." Because this movie really is desperately seeking Roberta. Like,
ironically.
Yeah. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well as Susan, but
so Gary is able to start getting at this and tracking people down. So he gets Crystal's number, talks with Susan, who's staying there, and so basically Gary and Susan arrange to meet. They meet at a club. Of course, we get Into the Groove playing in the background. Such an awesome song.
It really is. Yeah.
Yes. I forgive me if you're planning on bringing this up later. Do you have what are your favorite Madonna songs? Somebody asked you.
Into the Groove.
Mm-hmm.
I like Lucky Star.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Lucky Star. I'm not, like, a lot of her stuff is really catchy.
Yeah.
I'm not denying it, but some of it just doesn't trigger. Like a Prayer is fine.
Yeah.
I just, there are certain Madonna songs I find myself singing along to, but there's some that I just really enjoy listening to. And Into the Groove and Lucky Star are probably those are the ones that come to mind. Vogue is fine. Mm-hmm. I like Vogue just fine. But like Material Girl, I never really, I mean, I get it's catchy, but was never a big Material Girl fan. I was never big,
or the song.
I hate Material Girl. But like a Virgin the same way. It's fine. I know probably all the words to it, but it just it's give or take, like, whatever.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think Into the Groove and Like a Prayer are like her clear best
Oh,
songs.
yeah.
I think those two are just all timers.
And there are some others where she was like transitioning into the like kind of dancey, like not techno-y, but just kind of
Yeah, like Ray of Light.
Yeah,
kind of got into
kind of stuff.
like the late '90s techno. It had some of that flavor to it.
Yeah. Like I'm okay with those, but I like that genre of music anyway. So I was okay with that. But like she definitely evolved as a musician, for better or for worse. Like she was your 80s, everything girl like we're seeing here, and then she hit like her sex phase where which was just kind of bizarre. Like you almost felt dirty, like
Well, I mean, there was a shtick to it,
Yeah, but it was also fun when she leaned into the Wayne and Garth music video with her in it, kind of teasing that. That was fun. But yeah, it was. But yeah, I Like a Prayer, Into the Groove, Lucky Star is fun. But
yeah, agreed. So Gary and Susan meet up. She tells Gary that Roberta is trying to frame her for Bruce's death. So like that's how Susan is kind of constructed the plot. And so Susan learns more about Roberta back at Gary and Roberta's place while Gary's trying to sell her out a bathtub.
Yeah. We got plenty of those in stock. Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of, I just looked up real quick, like Madonna essentials. There's a lot we just missed, like Holiday, like Papa Don't Preach. Like, again, but those aren't the ones that Borderline. That's another one I like. Borderline.
Yeah. I know Patreon subscriber Melissa L leans into La Isla Bonita.
I like that one too. Crazy for You. I do like Crazy for You.
I do too.
Yeah.
Good 80s ballad.
Yep. But yeah, there's a lot there. So Beautiful Stranger was another kind of fun one, and that kind of house music.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to shut up now.
So from the police department, because again, the police assume Roberta's a prostitute.
Oh, as you would.
She calls home, but Susan answers. Susan and Gary are both getting high, by the way, because that's what you do when you're searching for your wife.
Well, and it's just, Gary's gross. Like,
he is. Top
to bottom. Like, he's not really working very hard to find Roberta.
Yeah.
Especially when Susan shows up and he's just like, oh, well, she's gone and she's here. So,
yeah. Well, Gary even, I didn't mention it earlier, but he even admitted to Leslie, his sister, earlier that he's having an affair.
Well, yeah, because Leslie's like, oh, like the affair you're having with so-and-so. He's like, you know about that?
Yeah, she's like, she called about it, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, everybody knows about that.
So Susan answers the phone when Roberta calls, and Roberta just hangs up. But she asks if she can make a second call. Of course, we don't see who it's to, but of course we know who it's to.
Yeah.
So the next morning, a detective calls Gary and Leslie and says they have Roberta, but they end up coming in. And in the meantime, Roberta had been bailed out by someone else. And of course, cut to Roberta trying to explain herself to Des. Of course, It was Des that came and did it. After some verbal sparring, they kiss for realsies this time. And then Des picks her up and brings her to his air mattress.
Right. That's 4 feet away. Come over here.
So after what we assume is sexy time, Roberta tries to come clean, but Des doesn't believe her. Like she's tried, like he's just stuck on the fact that this is Susan. Like Des is now feeling guilty because he thinks he slept with his best friend's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So Des then, like they hear someone entering. Des knocks out who they think is Nolan because they know they're that she's being tailed because she was already attacked once, but it's actually Jim. And Jim's like, this isn't Susan, and and Des even admits to Jim, I'm crazy about this girl.
Right.
So crazy for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You slept with my best friend's girl. Like, but no, it was, because this is where Roberta's like in the kitchen or whatever. And and Des and Jim are having this back and forth where Des is basically like, hey, I'm sorry. Like you said, I'm crazy about her. And Jim is rightfully so like, that's my girlfriend. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, when they go to get Susan Roberta, she'd escaped out the fire escape. And as you do, because that's the nice thing I like about New York apartments. We talked last week about Purple Rain, how he had an egress window.
Yeah.
I like
that's the reference point for Purple Rain. Everything in Purple Rain. We talked about that egress window.
Yeah. I like how New York apartments are so forward thinking that there's an escape staircase out of every window.
Every window has it.
Yeah. Every window in
and
your apartment.
There's no screen.
No,
they're
all you got to do is just
easy to open.
Very easy to open.
You just step right through.
Yep. And nobody ever enters your home that way. They all, if you're going to have an intruder, they're going to come in through the front door.
So after swimming at Gary's, the real Susan watches a TV report that actually shows Bruce and Nolan themselves. Yeah. Like file footage of Bruce and Nolan implicated in this earring theft.
It's almost like the director's like, oh crap, we got that earring thing we still have going. What do we do?
Earring.
Oh crap.
So of course Susan then comes across Roberta's diary indicating her obsession with the Susan personal ads.
Right.
Susan then places a personal ad to try to meet up with Roberta. I don't know how long this would have taken, but
it doesn't matter. Roberta checks the personal ads daily.
Yeah.
There's one thing she does, it's read the personal ads.
Consistently. So Roberta, of course, reads the desperately seeking stranger ad. Jim finds it too. And so we all come together at the Magic Club at the end. Susan, Gary, Leslie, and Larry all are, because of course Larry's there too, because he's with Leslie now.
Why not?
Because they're all there. Then Des and Jim arrive. Jim reunites with the real Susan, but Des says like that's not Susan, and he starts to kind of put things together a little bit. The magic show begins, and then Roberta, who kept her job at the Magic Club,
she was very loyal. As she basically, from the time like when they tell her on night one to go home and take these doves and practice, she's carrying around a cage of doves around New York for like 24 hours. Everywhere she goes, she's fight. She's in a fight, with Patton. I gotta save the birds. Like I gotta work tomorrow night. I gotta make my $20.
And so they, Gary, Leslie, and Des recognize her as the now successful magic act goes on, because as you just mentioned, she's been practicing. Roberta sees and calls out Nolan, who's in the audience again,
right?
Who again runs away.
Yeah.
Des and Gary rush backstage to Roberta, but again, they don't know each other. They're both trying to like save Roberta, but it's the first time they've met. So Roberta, tells Des, go away for a minute. I need to talk to Gary. And she just tells him, I did like this part. She just tells him, look at me. Goodbye, Gary.
Yeah.
And so
I'm not going home with you.
Yeah. He says like, I'm tired. I'll wait for you outside. And she's just like, goodbye.
Yeah.
So Nolan comes back in, grabs the real Susan, who was making out with Jim with his pants around his ankles.
Yeah. On a pinball table. Like
it tries to escape. Roberta, although sees this though, and hits Nolan over the head with a bottle, knocking him out and saving Susan.
Because apparently Nolan took the real Susan just around the block several times, because they never got any further than the Magic Club.
Well, there was they ended up on the rooftop somehow.
I know. That's what I mean. That's like they never got anywhere.
I should have used Daredevil in my
exactly.
There was a hallway fight. It was 3 minutes long.
It's just in Hell's Kitchen the entire time. The Magic Club kitchen is pretty much where they were.
Cut to later. Roberta is wearing a different fashionable green jacket this time. Goes to Des in the cinema he works at. She introduces herself as Roberta. They make out in the projection room. They bump into the reel-to-reel machine, causing the film to burn that he's showing.
Right.
We see Jim and Susan are in the theater watching the movie, and they're basically like, oh, those kids. Those crazy kids burning the reel.
Right. We know what's going on up there.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get an epilogue because we have to tie up the earring plot threads. We get an epilogue. We get a newspaper headline that says, "What a pair! Stolen earrings returned." And then Into the Groove takes us to the credits.
Yeah. The first time that Madonna and Rosanna Arquette were like knowingly together in this film was right at the end when she's climbing through the window and she looks at Roberta and says, "Help me." And Roberta like takes Nolan out with a shovel or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's the first time these two like
with 5 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah. And now here we are, like, we saved New York. Like, oh man.
So yes, I apologize to our loyal listeners.
No, you did it.
This was a weird movie to try to navigate the plot with.
You really did a solid job, honestly.
Thanks for the affirmation.
You really did. I've been in that boat where you're talking about a movie and you're just like, man, this is just a train wreck.
Yeah, but, especially when it's a first time watch for us as well.
Right. But no, you did just fine.
All right. Well, hey, folks, every week, Oz and I give our own unique rating to the film we yap about. In this case, 1985's Desperately Seeking Susan. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give this 5 Arquettes.
That was my rating scale as well. On an Arquette's rating scale.
I give it all 5 Arquettes. Mm-hmm. There's technically 6 Arquettes. I left Papa Arquette off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, my rating scale was also on the Arquettes.
On the Arquette scale.
On the Arquette rating scale. So
use it. I already have the photo.
Let's go with, I'm going to give this 61 pointless plot threads. Yeah, have fun finding an image that captures that. 61 pointless plot threads.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
We can also go, wait, here, hold for edit.
Yeah.
61 ancient Egyptian earrings.
No, I'll I could do that.
But whatever.
I'm just going to use our cat picture again. I set the ratings in this show, not you.
Just the same picture of Dewey from Scream.
You say whatever you want. I'm going to...
Hey folks, every week Oz and I scour the interwebs searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well in this week's edition of Outside Insight. Oz, my friend, what is your Outside Insight?
I just have one, and it's short and to the point. It is a 3.5-star rating from Evasive on Letterboxd, and they say, casting Madonna in this movie was like buying stock in Nintendo a week before the Wii was announced. Yeah, because from the time they started filming this movie until the time filming wrapped, she had released the Like a Virgin album. And kind of like Prince and Purple Rain, where like people have heard of Prince, but he wasn't like Prince yet until Purple Rain album.
Sure.
The Like a Virgin album from Madonna was that. And this movie inadvertently capitalized on it. Like, she got the role, she auditioned, she got the role, not because she was already Madonna, but she got it. And honestly, Madonna did fine. I don't think Madonna's a terrible actress.
No, she was fine in this.
Yeah,
she wasn't asked to do a whole lot.
No, she stays in her lane. But I've seen, Madonna, she's capable. I just think Madonna is she's probably just great at performing.
Yeah. And
so for her stepping into a role, I could do it. Don't ask me to win an Oscar, but so but yeah, I think this movie definitely benefited from that.
Yeah.
In similar ways, like not completely unrelated, but like took my daughter to Lollapalooza last year. She wanted to see Melanie Martinez. We saw Melanie Martinez. Well, of course, they're working on the lineups for Lollapalooza months in advance.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
Yeah, and so Thursday night, there's just this, this fun little artist named Chapel Roan, who's playing on a stage. Well, between the time they booked her and scheduled her for a Thursday,
she blew up.
Yeah. And like I think it was like the largest crowd in like for a Thursday, or maybe even just Lollapalooza period, to see her. And it's like, and they were talking, I think I read somewhere that like the schedulers were like, had we known, she'd have been a headliner. Like she would have been a weekend headliner, no problem. but instead we have her tucked away on this smaller stage on a Thursday afternoon. And it's like good for her, but kind of that similar thing with Madonna here of like, she just blew up in the meantime. I think it caused a lot of friction on set too. I was reading in the trivia that, like, understandably so, now they're wanting to market this as a Madonna movie. Rosanna Arquette's like, what about me? And it's like,
I could see that getting kind of awkward with the timing of everything. I can too.
And I just hope, again, it makes zero difference to me, but I just hope like Madonna was fine, like not diva-esque about it. Like I would hope, but who knows? So what's your outside insight?
I got two I'm going to bring, both as always from the Internet Movie Database. The first one was left in May of 1999. Is a 1 out of 10 left by Peter, 185, with the subject line, desperately seeking talent. This is about the worst movie I've ever seen. The story is awful, and Madonna, totally without talent. Don't see it unless you have nothing to do. Choose cleaning your toenails instead.
Clean them.
Clean them. Lord knows mine are filthy.
Yeah. I thought, like we just said, Madonna was fine. I think she just oozes charisma in this movie.
Yeah, she does. I mean, that's her bit too,
right?
You know, like any A-list pop star, you have to have charisma.
She's just very cool, like top to bottom, very cool. Like, would I want my daughter to grow up and be like? No, I would not want my daughter to live this type of lifestyle, but to watch it, like, Madonna's so cool.
Yeah, she's so cool.
She's so cool.
She's so cool.
Dr. Steve Brule would call her a hunk.
Such a hunk. I've been watching Steve Brule again. It's like every like year to year and a half, I get like a Steve Brule kick that I just have to
I get my fix as there's a TikTok channel that I like follow that is just bits of his shows.
Yeah.
So you microdose it a little bit and it's just enough. It's fun. 15 straight minutes of it you don't got to worry about, but it's just all Brule. it's so great.
I got 5 brote. The other one I'm going to bring is also a 1 out of 10, left in June of 2023, only a couple years ago at the time of this recording, by T. Atty. Subject line, I might be drunk, but I hated this movie with a passion. My wife picked it as something to watch, but I was dubious. As I'm an awesome husband, I said, yeah, pick what you want. It might never happen again. I've considered divorce, but the financial ramifications are overly prohibitive. It's okay. She can't ever pick the movie again.
I'm an awesome husband.
I mean, yeah, pick what you want.
Babe.
Got toots.
I'm an awesome husband. Don't forget. Tell your friends.
So T. Atty thinks very highly of himself.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for. The Let's Talk About Flicks signature segment, the 3, 2, 1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about this week's movie, Desperately Seeking Susan. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one is everything is better with Laurie Metcalf.
Yes.
I take one of yours?
You took one of my bads.
No.
One of my bads was going to be more Laurie Metcalf.
Fair. But everything's better with Laurie Metcalf. Second one, very solid soundtrack.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes. And not just the Madonna stuff, but if you you listen to the background, you get, One Fine Day, you get Lust for Life with Iggy Pop.
Yep.
You Sucker MCs by Run DMC, Mashed Potato Time, which I really like that song. Like, we play that a lot. One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix. Like,
yeah, there's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Someday Somewhere by Marshall Crenshaw. It's a great little like sweet pop song.
Right. And so it's just very solid soundtrack. Oh, like underrated, really.
Yeah.
Because none of it's, with the exception of Into the Groove at the Club, none of it's in your face. It's all just like opening a car door, that's playing. Someone walks by with a boom box, that's playing. Like, and so and I like when soundtracks are kind of delivered that way, when it's just
the music is organic.
It's just it's just atmospheric. It's just there in the environment. So those are my first 2 goods. My third one, I had this as a bad originally.
Okay.
And then I moved it to the good. Madonna dancing to her own song at the club.
Yeah.
Like it just because this movie is goofy. Like
Yeah.
there's some I was reading just on Wikipedia, it's like there are some lists that have this on like top 100 funniest movies of all time. Yeah, I didn't look at this as a comedy. It had comedic parts to it.
Sure.
But it wasn't this to me it wasn't a comedy movie. But there was some goofy zany stuff going on. And when they're in the club and Into the Groove is playing, my first thought was like, really? Like, and I had it in the bads. And then as I watched the scene, I'm like, you know what? No.
It's Madonna.
She's earned this. Like, that's fine. She's not. Now, one thing I think that would have taken it to a whole nother level would have been if she would have said something to Gary like, great song, or just just something completely self-reflective and completely idiotic. It would have been too on the nose, but I would have really loved that even more. But
we paused for a 3.5 choreographed dance sequence.
Exactly. Yeah, but it would have, it's a great song. but just her dancing to her own music in the club was just fun.
Oh, it's like a band who's like wearing their own t-shirt when they're playing the gig.
Yeah, it's like good for you. Yeah. Again, it would have been different if this like The Bodyguard or even Purple Rain, where the entire soundtrack is the artist that we're watching. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. This was like the only Madonna song, honestly, flanked out by another set of amazing songs.
Yeah.
And so it was fine. Like, I was okay with it. Those are my 3 goods. What do you got?
My 3 goods, I'll start with this film was written, directed, and starred females, which was pretty big for that era.
Oh, yeah.
And so even though, again, as we've agreed,
was successful.
It was very successful as well.
Yeah.
Again, this movie really was more of a touchstone than it was a quality film.
Right.
But it was an important film for that era, and I recognize that, and just the fact that it was a female creative team both in front of and behind the camera, that's important. That's powerful.
Would you say, now this might be a stretch, but I think you'll see where I'm going here. Would you say in some ways Desperately Seeking Susan was to the 80s what Clueless was to the 90s?
I could see that.
Again, cultural touchstone, female writer, female director, female stars,
fashion centrics, good soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack kind of captured the era.
Yeah. Again, I'm not putting them on par with each other.
Sure.
But,
there's some parallels there.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously launched the music career with Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Rudd was in both movies.
It really launched Paul Rudd's career. This and Halloween 6 really launched.
Yeah. That was the Super Nintendo commercial.
I was going to say, and the Super Nintendo commercial. So, but no, I mean, I think just some similarities there of Hollywood, you could trust women. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. I brought a clip, Conan.
I actually showed up on my TikTok today of when, you may have seen it, when Paul Rudd's on Conan Needs a Friend.
Yeah.
And he's telling him about this, like, his own work that he's been doing, and he's doing something for Audible, and just goes into this like 4-minute detail. Ken Marino's in it or whatever, and it's just macking me. Which Conan yells at him. He's like, "This doesn't work in an audio medium. Like it doesn't work." And he's like, "I believed you. And was any of that real?" And I no, I made it all up. But it's just like, oh, it's so good because Conan is, he's legit. Like, there's times when Paul Rudd was on like the actual show that I thought Conan's probably in on it and just going along with it because it's happened many times.
It's a bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But he honestly was duped on this on the
well, I don't think he was expecting it in a podcast format.
Of course not. Yeah. And all you hear is wheelchair.
Stop.
Conan is like, he's narrating it. Yep, there's the wheelchair. There he's falling. Like, he's seen the clips so many times. And Paul Rudd's just impish. Like, he's just got that smile on his face.
So that's my first good.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. No, hey, there's always time to talk about that bit, the
That's
Paul
true.
Rudd coded bit. Yeah. So that's my first good. My second good is I thought Rosanna Arquette and Aidan Quinn had legit chemistry.
They did.
Yeah. So I tip my cap to the two of them. Aidan Quinn, what a hunky man. Oof.
Yeah, for being built the exact opposite of how I built, like, which is okay. But yeah, he is. He's like, I get it. He's got that punk scene down, and he look good.
Yeah. So my second good, just good chemistry between Rosanna Arquette and Aidan Quinn. And my third good is, as you mentioned before, the Magic Club had a house band. So my third good is this 3-piece old guy band. It was it a drummer, a saxophone player, and was it an accordion? Was it?
I think so, something like that. Yeah,
yeah. And just these 3 old guys were the house band at this bad Magic Club. I just thought it was great.
I love it too, because that it's way past their bedtime. Like, they're there every night though, and they're green or their gold jackets.
They're happy to be there.
Yeah,
just happy to have the gig. So that's my third and last good. Hey Oz, what are your 2 bads?
This movie took a solid 15 minutes to start making any sense. It really did. Having never seen this movie before, and with the 2 non-crossing storylines, it was 15 minutes before they're on like the boardwalk, and we kind of start to see where things blend together. I really had no idea where this movie was going. You look at the box art, the poster art, like Arquette and Madonna are arms around each other. Like, I got the vibe that these two were close. I had no idea this was an amnesia movie, not a clue. And so I had no idea where it was going, because again, I'm like, she's this like yuppie housewife in New Jersey, and Madonna's this like basically like a street hustler in New York. Like, I thought you two were friends. I thought this was a thing.
Yeah, that's what the movie sold.
Yeah, I really went into this movie fairly blind. And so it was a solid 15 minutes before things started to crystallize, and like okay, I see where things might be headed here. And then it was just like, okay, they're still not together. All right, here we are an hour in, still not together. Like, it's just I'm desperately seeking them together, and they're not. Like, they spend the entire movie, sometimes
circling each other.
Yeah. Sometimes they've swapped, when Susan's with Gary, and it's like, it was just weird. So that's my first bad. My second one, inattentive husbands. Gary is the worst character in this movie, like, by far, and that's including what was the blonde's name? Like the kid, the one that was trying to just keep running away and was trying to kill everybody.
Nolan. Yeah, the Will Patton's character.
Yeah. Including Nolan. Like, he was terrible at his job, but yeah, like, Gary was just terrible in this movie. So, inattentive husbands, do better. If you're married, be loyal to your wife.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 bads. What do you got?
Well, you sort of just got close enough to one of my bads that I'm going to switch from one of them. So, and that was just the Gary character in general, as well as well as like, his commercial surrounding himself with, bikini-clad women, his license plate tub and spa.
I did,
which is a borderline good or bad, but for the character, it's like,
I got a kick out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had more Laurie Metcalf as a bad as well.
Yeah, they really had an opportunity there, but that's what Laurie Metcalf is in every movie, though. It's like, there's just enough of her that you want more.
Yeah, like Uncle Buck.
Yeah, it's like, give me more.
So my first bad is, I'll go with something specific that Gary does. He assumes Roberta is a lesbian because she was arrested for prostitution.
Yeah.
That's a microcosm of Gary, but really?
Yeah.
That's the logical jump that you're going to make there.
I think, well, the police, while they didn't assume she was a lesbian, they just saw her and like, well, your mascara's running, you must be a prostitute.
Yeah. Like, that was my other possible bad, but we had already brought that up, is how the police just assume.
Yeah, you just assumed.
She's a prostitute.
You look trashy, you must be a prostitute.
Yeah. So that's my first bad. My second one is, there's one point where Gary is showing Susan around his and Roberta's place, and they both, I think they're walking from like a hallway into a bathroom, and they both have to visibly shimmy around the cameraman.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, to get in there, like you see, like the actor playing Gary, like pull his shoulders in and like kind of do the do the Futurama walk, to get in there. And so it just know your space, I guess. If you're gonna shoot on location in a bathroom.
I watched most of this movie on 1.25 speed.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Well, for one, it was like late last night. I got to get through it. I got to get this movie done, because we've been in the pool a lot this week because it's been warm.
Yeah.
And so we get in the house about 8:45, and I'm like, I got to finish. I got like an hour of this movie left. So Sonic Speed.
So those are my bads. Oz, what is your
It's a pretty weak but why aren't the classifieds used for communication anymore?
I like it.
Yeah, like obviously that era of periodicals, escaped us as at this again, we were halfway through our first decade when this movie come out.
Yeah.
So it's like and by the time we were old enough, that wasn't a thing. But I remember the classified ads where you could people would have pets for sale, or they would be trying to sell a TV, or help wanted ads or whatever like that. But like just as a clear communication, especially when we actually saw them like at the newspaper office buying the classified, and it was like $50.
Yeah,
$50 every time you want to talk to someone, and then you hope they read it. Like, how long do you run the? And so it's just, but why don't we use classifieds anymore?
We should bring that back. Analog communication.
Next week's episode will be you'll be able to read it in a series of classified ads
over the course of the next 5 years.
We'll still record it, but I will then download the AI generated script, and that will be what we will. So pick what paper should we? USA Today, probably.
There you go. USA. That works. I'm sure they have lots of personal ad space in there.
You know what? And I'm sure that they will cut us a deal. So
desperately seeking Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'll be. You can use that one. You've got a beard. You that'll be your ringer, Hillbilly Jim. I'll be King Kong Bundy.
There you go.
Better than Bastion Booger.
Ooh, that was a terrible character.
Yeah, that's gross.
That same wrestler he had one match. I forget the name. It was a wrestling monk. And then and then the Catholic Church got after WWF, and then they changed his character.
Yeah, that's what they backed down. Yeah, what was his name? It was Friar something.
Friar Suplex.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Friar Ferguson.
There we go.
Yeah, Mike Shaw. Yeah. Catholic Church didn't like that.
I can't imagine why.
We're totally fine with the Sable character.
Yes.
But we don't want you to...
A wrestling mug.
Yeah.
That's what crosses the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. For my why don't people use the public restrooms to dry their armpits more?
Fair.
I mean, they're right there.
Yeah.
Just air them out.
A lot of them don't tilt up anymore.
That's true. Yeah,
but don't let that stop you, folks.
Yeah. There's more creative ways, like the Dyson ones that you put your hands in. Just shove your whole arm in there.
Right, it's fine. But pit sideways, because you go pit down, it's not going to dry it.
Pit down. You don't want to go pit down.
Give it the old Jerry Sags and give it a pit stop.
Lots of wrestling references in this edition. So yeah, that's my Why don't more people do that?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one.
All right. Well, hey Oz, as we finish up Desperately Seeking Susan and continue Movies with Musicians Month, what do we got next week?
Next week we're gonna go back to a member of Kiss.
Yes, we are.
This is a guilty pleasure movie for me.
I've never seen it, and just looking at the box art, I can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna love it. This is right up our alley. We're gonna watch 1984's Runaway, starring Tom Selleck, Cynthia Rhodes, Gene Simmons, and Kirstie Alley.
Because why not?
This is written and directed by Michael Crichton.
And that always works, right? We have a famous author who decides to direct his own work.
Yeah.
Just ask Stephen King.
Yeah. To be fair, like Michael Crichton's written quite a bit of stuff, you know.
Correct.
But yeah, in terms of but written and directed by Michael Crichton. It takes place again, 1984. This is a futuristic movie set in 1991. Where robots are very common. And much like, in some ways, like the movie, what was that Will Smith movie with the AI going rogue?
Is it iRobot?
iRobot. Yeah. Similar to that, like when robots malfunction and became dangerous, there's a whole like division of the police that handle these runaways. Okay, so that's the premise of this, where Tom Selleck in his best running man attire, and Cynthia Rhodes, his sidekick, I guess. I don't know. This movie, I don't think I ever taped it as a kid, but it was on HBO a lot, and I watched it a lot.
Okay.
And for a 5 or 6 year old impressionable,
this movie would be great.
Oh yeah, and it was. Am I expecting it to hold up? Absolutely not. Distributed by TriStar. It might as well be by Orion or Canon Films. Like, it's just got that vibe to it. But yeah, we're gonna be revisiting Gene Simmons, and we're gonna cover 1984's Runaway.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this movie. This looks so fun bad.
Oh, it's right up our alley for sure. Like, and don't get me wrong, there are a ton of other films we could have chosen and not gone with Gene Simmons twice this month. I just really wanted to fit this movie in somewhere. But yeah, Runaway, 1984, Tom Selleck and all of his Tom Selleck in this. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I have the IMDb page pulled up, and so the trailer is silently playing at my other monitor, and it just looks hysterical.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's so good. Gene Simmons he's like a legit, like, I'm playing this role. Like, whereas of course in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, he was playing the demon but they were in costume. This is Gene Simmons as an actor.
Yes, as an auteur.
That's right. Holding his own against Kirstie Alley and Tom Selleck. And Cynthia Rhodes as Penny in Dirty Dancing.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this. It's like a residential version of Blade Runner.
Oh yeah. It's like the guys from Please or Beacon Rewind got a hold of it. A Blade Runner made it. But yeah, it's Michael Crichton written and directed. So I'm very much looking forward to revisiting this, as I have not watched it since my youth. So I know it won't hold up. I'm hoping it doesn't hold up.
Yes,
I'll be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, you don't want this one to hold up.
I'll be pretty disappointed if I walk away like, that's a great film. Like,
yes, I am excited to watch this one, my friend.
Yeah, it's fun. It really is a fun movie. It's definitely one you turn your brain off and you just soak it up and go. So yeah, Runaway, and then we got a couple of real bangers to wrap up the month.
Yes,
so
this is a 5-weeker.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. So social media wise, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, as usual. Like, subscribe. Patreon link down below if you would like to join. I'm getting really tired of saying the same 6 names every week. We don't want you 6 names to go away. We want to add a 7th.
Don't get the wrong impression.
Don't pull the plug. But no, all joking aside, like, we don't do this for the money. We do it for fun, and we are having it. We will definitely have it next week with 1984's Runaway.
Fame and glory.
It's true, are not what we seek with this show. For another episode, let's talk about flicks. I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you guys next week.